How's it going? It's Jeff from jeffrey-thomas.com, and let's take a look at All Shall Perish. We hold these truths, so copy the notation off my website so we can follow through together. And let me go ahead and jump in. Basically, we're dealing with descending triads in the first measure anyway, so B minor over F sharp. Then going to B minor over D, B minor, and then finishing again with B minor over F sharp. Alright, now the picking direction is going to be down, up, up, up. And I should point out that I'm not using the pointed edge of the pick. I always put the pointed edge of the pick into my hand and use the rounded edge. It's like a bigger bat. And another thing, I have a lot of students who are working on sweep picking. It is important to point out that it's down, and then when you do your upstroke, you're coming to rest on the second string, and then for the next note, you're coming to rest on the third string, and then for the next note, you're coming to rest on the fourth string. So with the picking, it's not like alternate picking. So for these consecutive upstrokes, you're always dragging the pick and resting on the strings. That's very important to point out because it's not like alternate picking. Okay? And you're going to follow that through all the rest of the arpeggios in the measure. Also, I want to point out that when I wrote the B minor over F sharp chord for you up in the chord diagrams, I'm using fingers 2, 3, and 1. That would be as a chord shape. When you actually go to do the lick, it's going to be finger 4, finger 1, finger 2, and then finger 1 again. So there's a bit of difference in the fingerings, alright? Straight 16th notes on this. Let's go ahead and try to run the first measure at 72. So 1 E and a 2 E and a ready, go. Okay. And then without time, right, it would be and make sure you're dragging that pick on the upstrokes, resting on the next string. Okay. Now in the second measure we changed directions. We're going to ascend. All of that was descending over B minor triads. Now we're going to ascend over G major triads. So let me walk through this slowly for you. Starting here with G. Okay. Down, 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 up. And once again, changing the direction, all the downstrokes are right? Okay. And next we have G over B, G over D, and then finishing with G. Okay, so let me run that measure there for you with G. Slow. Go. Okay, it's really important to point out too when you're barring that you don't want those notes to bleed. You want separation. Okay, so it's not all sustaining like a chord. Kind of tricky with the left hand for that. Then when you finish with this last G triad, it's fingers 2, 2, 1. Okay, so let's review. We're going to run the whole top line, the whole two measures very slowly. Ready, go. Third measure. Starts out exactly the same as the first. Now, I'm going to point out right now that I have not found a good footage of the dudes from All Shall Perish playing this. I've seen a lot of covers and I've seen a lot of stuff that is just no. I mean, it's the right notes, but Sometimes it's the right notes. But it seems like a real struggle when I see the people playing it. So I have just placed these notes where I think they make sense. So I'm not saying in any way this is exactly how All Shall Perish plays this, okay? But the notes are correct. So just wanted to get that out of the way because I know a lot of people are very, very quick to put a thumbs down on a video. So anyway, third measure again. All right. A sharp diminished 7 over G. Okay, now the last beat of this measure is down, up, and then a pull off. Down, up, and then the last one you get the note with the left hand. So let me run that A sharp diminished 7 over G for you slow. Okay, and then the final measure is G over D. Sorry. G over D. G over B. Drop back a half step for F sharp over C sharp. Now you could play this here. I've seen people playing it there. Right? But I'm trying to keep things in a position here. Okay, and then you're into the tune. And it's pages and pages after that, right? So, I guess things to point out. When I've written the chord diagrams for you, they're not always going to follow the fingerings that I'm using for the arpeggios. They would be for like the chord shapes. For example, B minor over F sharp, B minor over D, B minor, right? And then B minor over F sharp. So it's not exactly the fingerings that I'm using when I go to play the lick, but it would be important for you to see those shapes if you're going to be playing just triads. And it's very important to kind of see a chord shape when you're doing these sweeps. And I think that's probably about it. If you're interested in more explanation on sweep picking and other kinds of techniques, definitely get a hold of me. I'm teaching on Skype, Uvu, Yahoo Messenger, Windows Live with webcams, so we can definitely go over some stuff in more detail. And that was the intro only. Sorry, I didn't want to mislead anybody. So I hope that was a good lesson for you to get started on some sweep picking. All right, thanks.